Welcome back to SWU Farms, our survival challenge let's play. We're trying to see if this auto drive is finally configured right. They just dropped off some stones. They're gonna turn around here and they should be able to get home now that that tree's out of the way that we got rid of last time. Unbelievable, it's working. What a wide turn. Today we are gonna start working on fertilizer. We've got to figure out everything about precision farming. And right now we're showing perfect. How is it perfect? Oh, because we have oilseed radish. We don't need to worry. I'm being silly. Okay, so we did do a cover crop here. And let's look at the calendar. So we know we can plant canola this month, or we could wait one more month with the cover crop. And that should take care of the fertilizer for us for the most part. And then in September, we'll plant canola, or we'll plant barley. Getting my games or my playthroughs a little confused there. But that's all right. Today we are going to work on starting to clear some land for our future workshop. It's probably most likely going to be a workshop and a shed. So we're going to want the workshop and the shed to be multiple purpose, or one building that has multiple purposes is the idea that we're going with. But I'm coming over here to go to this dirt road because I want, you know, short term, I'm not sure, or long term, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that area, but I can't stop thinking about the field behind our trees and how I want that to come into play long term for our build here. I have ideas for where I want my long-term house to be, and I think what we want to do in this area up here is work on something for the farmyard. And I think we'll have, you know, they'll come in this, and it almost looks like a natural driveway right here that we could create. That's what I'm kind of thinking. So maybe we'll get the dozer out first and start clearing the ground to start helping us figure out exactly where we want to start clearing trees. And I need to get the footprint of the building we're going to use in mind so I know how many trees we have to clear. We still need the concrete production to get us to where we can actually build the shed, but step one is going to be clearing the land. And I guess if we work our way back to it from here, we might be able to get a little bit more familiar with the terrain changes, where the dips are, and trying to find an area that's somewhat flat already. But I think we definitely need to turn to the left here and make our way back to that entrance and see what's happening. Let's get over there. We'll start digging out the grass and the shrubs here so we can get a better view of it. It's my thought process. So, all right, so this is where we kind of talked about starting to clear it. And I think what we'll do is just drive in a little bit. And this could be the drive, as we mentioned. Let's go ahead and lift that. I want to make it a little bit wider. And I'm not sure exactly where our property starts. So I definitely want to be careful and not intrude on someone else's property behind us. But I think that's a good width for the entrance here. And just a little spot that we missed behind us. And I think clearing this dirt road might be helpful too. So we'll lower it right about here and just drive forward. Like so. And that, yeah, it looks like it's taking care of it just as we needed. Give us a nice fresh dirt road here. Get all the bumps taken care of. Get all the shrubbery out of here. All the brush, and we might have to come back. Nope, it's gonna get it all. Nice. Let's go ahead and lift so we don't do any more damage. But that should improve that entrance a lot. Look at that. That's gorgeous. All right, next we need to kind of start figuring out the footprint, and I think these entry trees right here we'll probably want to keep. You know, as we've talked throughout this series about wanting to keep a lot of nature, but utilize it as much as we can. Utilize the space as much as we can and keep nature. So I think we're looking at this set here, that set there, probably this one, that one, and that for a start. So we will get going with that, and hopefully that, I mean, that's gonna make us a lot of money with lumber to sell. So I'm gonna get busy and I'll check in with you later. So I started clearing a little bit of the trees and it got me to thinking, and we clear a little bit more here. You can see that's what we've done so far, but we want this road probably to extend all the way to the stone production eventually to kind of give a better input and output there, and ingress and egress. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of focusing on the spread being this direction, left to right, I think I want it to be left or right when facing this way. So we'll have like our workshop slash shed here, and the road will continue on and eventually tie into the other road we made down there, and maybe even be another one in here as well. They'll probably, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have room for another field. We will have the other one that we're gonna extend, the initial field that we have. We're gonna definitely make that one bigger. I don't know if we'll put another one on our property. I think what we're gonna wanna do is utilize as much of this space as possible for things like greenhouses and potentially other productions, and then attempt to find some good deals around town on land so that we can purchase and increase the amount of fields that we have. I know we talked about that not being super realistic, but you gotta remember this is a survival challenge and not necessarily a roleplay series, so it's like a survival challenge with a hint of roleplay. So I don't want to get myself tripped up on things that aren't actually part of the features of the game when that's really what this one's about. So I hope that makes sense. It's not necessarily a change. We're still not going to be leasing anything. We have to buy the equipment that we use, and I think we might figure out a premium on property so we don't, I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. I just like the idea of having a mod that helps you with land purchases and doesn't allow you to just purchase any plot of land at any time. I might add like a spin wheel thing that's like every month there's a random chance for a field to go for sale. I think that might be a way to kind of get around it until we can one day have a mod for that. Let's see how that footprint's looking now. Yeah, I don't think that's big enough, but that gives us a start to get these trees out of the way. I was having a problem, finding them after I fell them because how thick the shrubs are here, but gonna get back to business. Just want to give you a little bit of an update on there of what I'm thinking. These 2 trees, the majority of them will go to the sawmill, and part of them will go get sold, and that's probably gonna fill it up if we do the 2 trunks here of these trees, but we'll get busy. I do have 2 things in mind right now. Number 1 is our equipment we're starting to outgrow because we're doing a lot of tree trimming or cutting down, a lot of tree felling, and we're not, able to do as long as sessions without having to go in and sell the goods. So a bigger trailer, bigger equipment would be ideal, but I'm also kind of debating, do we need a second sawmill at this point because of how many trees we have? I feel like we potentially are making more money. Well, the production's definitely making us more money, but it's slower. We can make more money quicker by cutting down trees and selling the trees directly, so we get an instant satisfaction that way, where if we're patient with the sawmill, we can make a lot more money by making, manufactured things like planks and long wood beams and all of that. But we also have a capacity of how much we can do per month in a single sawmill, and I'm absolutely running out of space at this point for where I'm going to be putting trees that I want to save for the sawmill. So it's kind of a dilemma. Do we spend another like $130,000 now to get a second sawmill, which would pay for itself in a couple months? Or do we just be patient and do a lot of trips? And then the other thing is maybe a semi with a trailer that's 2 or 3 times as big as this, and we can just get a lot more done. I also wouldn't mind a tree harvester at this point as well, but that might not be in the cards yet just because of money. Like there's a lot of things I want, and I want to speed up my life here and what we're getting done and how quickly we're getting things done, but make wise financial decisions still, because there's a lot to buy. We got a field that we're going to need to cultivate and replant next month, and that starts the timetable on when we're going to need a cultivator by. A lot of things to think about, a lot of things to purchase. We're starting to have multiple priorities and focuses, but only a single income. So, I mean, not necessarily a single income, but we just have one bank account, and we're just one farmer trying to make it by. So there's things I'm thinking about while I'm cutting down trees that I give you guys an update, and we'll get these sold here, and then we're getting super close to being able to buy that concrete production, which I would really love to be able to do sooner than later. So yeah, that was 20 grand, not too bad. We'll get the little stragglers here as well. Another, gosh, 1,100 bucks there almost. All right, let's get back. We do have a positive environmental score, which is always awesome to have, but a lot more to clear. We haven't really made much progress yet, and that was already a full load. So you can see why I'm saying the things I'm saying about thinking about a second sawmill, thinking about better equipment, a lot of things that we need to purchase, and I'm so thankful this farmer hasn't cut us cutting across his field yet. In other news, this thing has done multiple trips on its own, and now it's just kind of waiting for the stones to fill up. We've gotten it completely caught up, so it's just doing the slow grind and just sitting there waiting. So that process is working great, but this is a good view of where we would want the road to cut through. And I want to kind of see how close that is to being straight. Did we get lucky here? Not bad. It'll be a little bend in the road, but that's going to look awesome. So not a lot done. We got these big trees to get out of the way. And I think I want to go, I don't know which building I'm going to use yet. So to get that footprint is kind of something that I've been holding back on. So this is a decent size one here. If we look, here's the road coming in and we want to kind of face it like this. Right here. We're not too far off already, which is nice. So it looks like this cluster here needs to go, probably this full section right here where I'm just moving my mouse around would definitely open it up enough. Well, it's been 3 or 4 loads later, and here we are clearing some more land to see how it's going. We have enough money for the production as well, but I wanted to start clearing this and make sure we actually have the footprint that we want. And then we'll head on over and get that production purchased. And I think at that point, I want to make sure the dump truck isn't heading that way and sells the goods before we're ready to buy the production. And a lot of this is going to need raised. So that might cost us a little bit of money to get this flattened out. As I look at this, we definitely want to raise it here. I was debating if we wanted to lower it down to the lowest level, but that would be, I think, counterproductive to what we want over here. So let's get this just cleared. Got a few more stumps we got to take care of, and some of these I got to be honest with you guys, I've been using Lumberjack because I've been having such a hard time using the skid steer with the stump grinder. Like, some of them work, some of them don't, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I just want to be done with it. I don't want to sit here all day and figure out if the game's regular features are going to work. So this is what I've been doing, just clearing the area. Is it cheating? I don't think so. We have the equipment, so it's kind of been my viewpoint on it forever. And being that I want this to be like my long-term playthrough on FS25, we're definitely going with the 3-star garage. 3 stars garage. It's just my favorite, and it's gonna go right there, and that is plenty of space. All right, so while we have the money, let's go ahead and head over to productions here, and we're gonna find the concrete factory, and we're going to visit, and we're gonna buy this. It leaves us with $24,000, and it's unfortunate that it's empty, but is this even the place we've been dropping things off at? I guess this is the other side. Okay, so yeah, right over here is where we've been dropping things off. So let's hop into here at 48%. We are satisfied with that to get us rolling. So let's get our auto drive menu going, and we're going to go to the next phase, have that head on over and get that production up and running. Yeah, $24,000 is a little cushion, and we know like each cluster of those trees that we have been cutting and selling is bringing in roughly $20,000. So we know if we need money, we can just do that and make the money. It's not that big of a deal. We have a lot of lumber. It was somewhat of a gift of a lot. The lot's very profitable. Like, we can make a ton of money off the lot, way more money than it cost us to buy. And we kind of got it for free starting the game because it was abandoned and we inherited it. It's a lot of work though. That's how I've been justifying it. It is a lot of work goes into getting this the way I want it. And it's gonna look gorgeous. Okay, while that's going, that'll deposit stuff. I do want to put down a constructible. We've talked about it during this series that we're going to role play this part, that we don't have every building available to us as a constructible. So we're going to kind of take some leverages here, or what's the word I'm looking for? Some liberties. We're gonna take some liberties here and just do exactly what we want to do. And that is role play that we are constructing this. It's going to take time. We're not going to just get it instantly. These other buildings, I didn't do that yet because we need the goods from those buildings to then use, you know, the constructible features. So that's kind of, it's kind of been the thought process there. But moving forward, the rest of the vehicles, or the rest of the buildings, in this playthrough, I do want to come from being constructed ourselves and not getting that instant satisfaction again of a building that's just you buy it and it shows up. That's not how real life works. As a survival challenge, I want there to be a little bit of a reality check on stuff like that. So I hope that makes sense. I was having a hard time explaining that there, but not enough money to place this down. We know that's the case. Just kind of seeing the footprint, and we can finalize this when we actually do finish the constructible part. And I don't know what all of these constructibles inputs are, so we'll go to one of the shed ones and we're just going to use that. So it is going to cost us $1,000, but we will place it right here for now. And we're going to have to meet these requirements here. Let's see what it's going to want first. And we'll do this in the background. It looks like wood beams, planks, and all of that. So we're going to instantly come over to our sawmill and we're going to change these to be storing. I don't know if distributing would do it, but they're going to be storing. So next month, we should be able to get 1,000. We're going to head on over there and see how close we are to getting some of those so we can get that first phase going. And that should buy us some time to create the goods from the cement factory. So income for a short time is going to be kind of halted. We'll pick and choose what we sell from here based on what we need for the constructibles, but moving forward, making a ton of money really fast in this playthrough, that's seen its last days, really, at least for now, if that made any sense what I'm saying. So we're a ways off from the planks, wood beams, and long planks. So it's going to be some time. It'll be next month, but this thing is going to start populating a little bit more. We'll start getting the cement stuff going. That's just because I'm in the vicinity. Okay, let's check on that vehicle. And they are just about arriving. What good timing that was. And dumping in the goods. It should be a decent start, even though it wasn't a full load here. We'll be able to get this configured and running. Yeah, 14,000 to start. They'll head back and start collecting more, and we'll get a ton in here next month. It's going to get to the point eventually where they're probably going to have to wait for room to dump, is what I'm hoping happens. And that's just going to be part of the process, right? So I don't think we need anything roof. I'm going to guess, I've only done one of these. So we're going to start with the cement bags and the cement bricks and hope that that actually is what we need for the next stage. I guess I could probably look it up online at this point, but I kind of want to discover it naturally. So no spoilers, guys. And there goes our dump truck heading home. Hey, I wanted to ride. Hey, wait up, wait up, wait up. They didn't wait for me. That's terrible. But that's gonna do it for today's episode of the Survival Challenge, SWU Farms. We got a brand new production. It's the last super expensive thing we need before we start to really be able to focus on farming, and that's gonna pick up big time next episode. We're gonna get that field flipped and turned into a barley field, and I believe we got to keep it through the winter to get the advantage from the cover crop, and we'll learn all about that with the new precision farming and see all the changes and how they affect it. But we're at least trying out the cover crop right now for a short time. But that's gonna do it. I'm SWU. I will catch you on the next episode. Super excited to get this series cranking again. We took about a week off, not too bad. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm SWU. I'll catch you on the next episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Survival Challenge. We're dropping off some planks, but I'm not satisfied with this skid steer. We have some goods to get going in the constructible here in the future workshop, and we're trying to get them dropped off, but just not satisfied with the weight that this can handle. So we're going to make a change to get that solved today, but we also need to figure out how we're going to get goods from the cement factory to the future workshop here, the farm garage. So that'll be on the plate today. We're also going to be planting some barley and figuring out exactly how that's going to work with the cover crop and see if we get a little bit of nitrogen boost or not. We have a spreader either way, but I'm going to go ahead and get some wood planks and planks long moved over, and we're gonna have to check on the construction factory, and we want to start getting the cement goods over here. And I think the best route right now is to sneak back this way. We're gonna have to finish these roads so it's easier to get goods moved, but I think we need to make an adjustment first so it's not a complete pain to do this. All right, just strapping in the nice JCB skid steer here. We're gonna take it to the cement factory with us, but the John Deere's coming with us today. We're gonna make some adjustments to it. I wanna get a front loader set up on this so that we can move the pallets and planks around a lot easier over here. And we're gonna take the skid steer over to the cement factory, and it'll be able to pick up the cement bags and the bricks. It should be able to do that one by one and load it on the trailer for us. So there is still some use for it, but when it comes to multiple things at a time, I don't think it's very, very helpful. And we got other equipment that we don't need this at the actual farm, so this living at the cement factory long term should be completely fine. And the dump truck has been over here once already this morning to repopulate. We went the wrong way. To repopulate the concrete factory. So we'll head on over there and see if we have some pallets to bring home. We want to go to the other side though. They're long gone, so they should be on their way back to get more stone at this point. Beautiful process. So we sneak in here. Looks like we have a bag of cement so far. Let's go ahead and get this unstrapped so we can back it out. And I'm hoping we're close to a cement brick as well. But we will see as we cruise on over here. We'll talk to the factory worker and see if they have any goods for us to bring home other than this. If it's worth just hanging out for a few minutes. So let's get this one loaded and then we will sort that out. All right, got it all on the forks now. Just to cruise on over to the trailer over here. I don't know what else we're bringing home with us. I will put it up here for now. I think that will be good. There we go. Perfect. Now we can hop out and get that strapped in. And yep, you're gonna stay here, so we will just back you up. That's actually a pretty good spot. So it looks like we have a little bit of time before we'll get our cement brick, but we can come back later for that. I don't think we actually need those yet. So let's head on over to the dealership and talk to them about making a couple changes to the configuration of this tractor. All right, so in attachers here, what we're gonna do is update this, and this is something that I had a misunderstanding of. We can actually do the front loader on here, and I don't know which brand that is, but it looks like it is a free customization, so that is beautiful. And beautiful, there's a John Deere specific front loader. Let's go ahead and buy that. Running out of money real fast. What is this here? Guys, I don't know what that is. And we'll buy another set of forks so we have them at the house as well. Now this should definitely be able to handle the weight of anything we have to lift anytime soon. At least moving around the wood planks and all of that. We are not making money off of the sawmill at the moment because we are starting to kind of build a stockpile of goods for the construction project. And let's go ahead and cruise back to the cement factory and see how close they are to getting us those bricks. It'd be nice to get those in a single trip before we start getting busy with some field work. And I'm not 100% sure how quickly it'll burn through the planks, long planks, and wood beams, but we still need to get the other goods over there. We only got the planks so far, but once we get back with the John Deere, it should be real easy to move over what we need. I think I might hang out here and get to know our employees a little bit better, see how quick it seems to be going. Yeah, I'll catch you guys. I'll have breakfast with these guys and hang out. All right, after a good visit with our new employees at the cement factory, we've got 1,000 cement bricks and 1,000 cement bags. It should help with the foundation once we get to that phase. So starting to just get a stockpile and preparing it for the construction company to be able to build our workshop. And this is our first time really seeing this entrance ourselves, besides when we can, built it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be nice. We need to do a little bit more landscaping, but what a great start this is. And we should be able to just cruise on up here, drop these off for them. And those will be prepped. So next we want to put the trailer away, get some planks long and some wood beams added over so we can get through that first stage as quick as possible. Let's go give this a shot. I'm hoping this is just like night and day, a lot easier to use, but this is in our way. All right, should be able to just snag these with ease, not run into the other ones. And we have a decent amount being produced right now. Not making money off of it because we're saving them for the construction project, but there will become a time here soon where we're just kind of oversaturated with lumber, and we can then take it in and get it sold at that point. But it's gonna change the way we're doing things for a short time, and in turn we might actually make more money off of it since we'll be selling it ourselves and picking exactly where we're selling it. And oh, this isn't going good so far. All right, finally got those loaded. Have they ran out over here, or did it stop working? Let's see. I think it's stopped working. Let's go ahead and turn that back on, but let's get that going again. I don't think 9%. Yeah, it's gonna take a while, but we got to keep the stone production full as possible. So we might, you know, get that halfway full and send them on their way. We'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and get these going, and that'll give us everything we need for at least the first phase over there, and then we can eventually, I don't know if it'll be today, we'll find out what the second phase is. Like I said, I've never done a shed like this. I've only did a house once and did it 100% roleplay, so I didn't actually, you know, comprehend what we were doing. I just kind of got what we needed to show that the building was being built. It wasn't necessarily about, you know, the time frame that we wanted it to be like this is. So let's get that dropped off and have it please removed from my forks. That should do it. All right, let's see how quickly they've been going through the planks so far. Yeah, they're about halfway done with what they need with planks. So it might be somewhat later tonight when we get to see what the next step is. But that's about it for this morning when it comes to working on the farmyard. I do want to hook up to the seeder now. And, well, I think we need to cultivate first. So, yeah, let's grab the cultivator here. Is this technically a plow, I believe? And head on over to our little tiny field. Start getting to work. I do find it a lot easier to drive through our trees here in cab view, and been really enjoying it. What a beautiful view it's turning into here. All right, let's go ahead and switch now, and away we go. It's giving us a nice dark texture here, so maybe that means there is some nitrogen in the ground for fertilizer. Adjusting the nitrogen level. Stay away from the tree as much as we can. We touched it a little bit. All right, we're gonna bust this out, and then we'll get the seeder hooked up and get barley planted. But, you know, gotta focus on this first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, especially with this crazy tree line that we have. The trees are nice, but boy, they make our jobs hard when it comes to seeing what we're doing in here, especially on the headland. But they'll go away soon. Got to keep that in mind. We're going to extend this field and keep pushing the tree line back, trying to balance out what we're spending our time on. And now that I see this, I don't know if it looks very dark like a fertilized state at all, but it was worth doing a little investigation. We might need to do a cover crop from fall all the way to spring to get the benefit from it, but that is all prepped for barley now. And man, I can't wait to have a shed to put these in that they can fit in. Right now, the one that we have is absolutely not going to work for that. This implement cannot fit in there. Okay, we might have made a mistake. I forgot that this can only do oilseed radish and grass. We're gonna have to find some money, unless I'm misremembering something we did. I don't know what my plan was, guys. What was I thinking? Buying something that is really useless for the most part. Well, let's look at the map and see if we can learn anything about precision farming here. Yeah, nitrogen's showing, gosh, I guess it would be around, yeah, 40 right here. So it's not at 0, which is good. So it was a little bit of help potentially. pH is looking good still, but we need to, gosh, what are we gonna do? Let's look at contracts. When in doubt, let's look at contracts. Nice, we get to use our little access road that we cleaned up to go to this contract. It's at a field that long-term we'll probably be eyeing. And to address the field thing again, I've thought through it a lot, and I think for this series being the survival challenge, we are gonna just go with base game stuff and Whiskey RP that has started recently. We'll start blending in some of the role-playing scenarios of fields only being, you know, purchasable if I negotiate well and do all that with roleplay. We're gonna keep this series kind of dried out and not be roleplay. I think it's best since, you know, running into issues here where we can't lease, and it's hard enough as is. So I know it's sorry for the back and forth, but I think that would be best for this series long term. And it looks like behind our property is where this field is. Trying to respect this one and not drive on it as much as possible until we get over here. And there is a fence that's right, so we do cut across here. We should have taken the path by that fence, but you can't really because the fence is there. How do you actually get here? It looks like there's a road on the other side of field 24, that direction, that would take us to this farm, and then we can get in their entrance here. That's right, we have worked on this field multiple times. All right, let's get all prepped for this. It does say that it is 90% done, but we do know that that is not accurate. So we'll get that set up, get all enabled. Gotta start making money. We gotta earn some money so we can buy some implements. And we could let some time pass to where we sell some lumber. But yeah, balancing the work that we're gonna do and making sure we're staying focused on purchasing the right things moving forward. Now that we have that concrete production, which was a big chunk of money, and in reality, it didn't take us very long. So after this contract, maybe we can cut down a few clusters of trees as well. And I guess it would make sense to clear out that path that we want to make all the way from the workshop to the stone production that would then link us up to that road that we created. So the original road. I think we'll do that after this contract and see how close that gets us to having enough money to buy an actual seeder that we can use to get the barley planted. The good thing is, if we don't get the money in September, we do have October to plant that as well. Let's double check that though. Make sure I'm not remembering incorrectly. Yeah, October and September we can do the barley. Contract is complete. We'll be collecting $37,000 for this one. Not bad. And the next thing we want to do is kind of see how the construction project's going. They're about halfway done with the first step. We have plenty in storage for it. Well, do we? I think we're going to need more wood beams and planks long. So let's go ahead and grab the John Deere. And we'll get those added over just so that if we're not over there when the time comes, it'll at least start the second one if it has some of the goods in it. But we also should probably start taking a look at what we're gonna want for a seeder, get a budget going, because we're gonna need to probably call that agent for us and see if they can find one used. And we probably want the timetable to start moving for that. Time frame, I guess I should say. All right, that should do it. Now let's try to not run into the planks this time. As we turn out of here, not bad at all. All right, let's head over there, and then the next thing we'll work on is we'll look up the cedar. We're gonna see what's going on with the stones, because we might want to send it, but we also want to finish this road. Or at least clearing the rest of this path right through here. Yeah, that's a lot that needs to get cleared. Let's see if we can maneuver through here and not lose our goods. Not too bad, just going by the trucks that I haven't moved. Put that in the worst spot. Yeah, we're gonna have to get out and move that. Boy, we need a pressure washer pretty soon. All right, that should give us plenty of clearance now. And just lower this and back on up. And we should be good. Let's take a look. Got plenty in storage here for everything. 360 planks long to go until we're done with this step. I think we'll be good. Let's shut the John Deere off for now. But let's take a look in the catalog. Our 7R is 352 horsepower. So when we're looking at cedars here, we definitely have to keep that in mind. We need some mods. Would not mind the Bednar though. The Bednar is a direct drill, right? These machines are used to seed crops like wheat, barley, and canola. Additionally, the seeder offers the possibility to seed directly, no previous cultivation. So this is what I want to look for. Let's see if we can find it used. I'm gonna extend this one and spend a little bit more money on that and see if we can get a good option to pop up. But we got plenty to do while we wait for that. And I don't know when that's gonna be. So our road comes in here. Let's walk. I think the best route would be starting from back here. in clearing what we need to clear. And that would help big time. So let's go here. And I think, yeah, this cluster here's got to go. Looks like these 2 clusters. And then that one. All right, I'm going to get to work. Well, you can see time has flown by, and we're processing a cement bag right now in the next step. You can see we're working on a foundation here. It's starting to come together nice. I'm not sure how wood beams and planks ended up creating that, but we'll take it. So concrete is next, and it's a lot. So we need at least 9,000 more bags, and I have updated that production to only be making the cement bags for now, and that's the priority that we need over there. So it looks like it did use the right amount of planks, but it did use an extra plank long and wood beam. But we got a path cleared, and our money, yeah, it's sitting pretty right now. Pretty path. Money. Yeah, money's looking good. So let's get this activated, and we want to, you know, create this path for us. And we probably want to do 2 passes here. Let's lift that a little bit. There we go. And we'll do the left side here. We'll turn around and do everything to the right that we want cleared. But this is coming together so cool, guys. Way better than I envisioned it originally. So we've got a nice opening here. The only problem, I mean, I guess you can turn right there, but the only problem is the bulldozer, or not the bulldozer, the dump truck's just always going to be in the way if you want to go straight that way, at least while we're running this process with it automated all the time. And we're about to send it to the factory, even though it's not full, because they're getting a little bit low on stones. But I don't think we're going to be able to seed today, because we haven't gotten any offers yet. So that looks great. I think we want potentially to plant a tree right here, but I don't know yet how we're going to expand on this. We'll probably have another road coming in this way that goes out there. Gonna have lots of paths. Yeah, that's exactly what I envisioned right there. That is nice. I think what we might do is trim a few of these branches if I can reach. How can we do that? Maybe if we bring this over here, we could stand on it. Yeah, let's give that a shot. If we hop up here, which branch were we aiming in? Which branch were we targeting? Which one was it, guys? Yeah, I think it's this one right here. So let's move a little bit closer. See if that gives us enough height here. Potentially. Now, I don't want that whole thing to... Maybe if we do this... Oh, we're not quite up there. Is that gonna... That's gonna be too much. Yeah, I guess this whole branch right here needs to come down. All right, let's just back up. Get our machine out of the way. We don't want this to fall on it. And if we go right there... That shouldn't look too bad. And we can always move this over to the sawmill as well. That looks terrible. That's why I didn't want to cut that one, but that's all right. That's not bad. And then we'll come up here. And I guess we're going to do the same to this one. I guess it looks somewhat realistic, you know. And I think that will do for that type of tree. Yeah, that's not bad. This is the only other one I'm kind of questioning. Yeah, we can reach it. We can reach it. Go gadget arms there. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. So let's turn around now. Oh yeah, much better. That's sweet. That is sweet. Cannot pick that up. So we'll have to get those moved. 108,000. We did move, you know, gosh, I guess we could do this group here just to get more money. But I don't want to take down trees. I'm not absolutely sure. I want the area cleared. Oh man, lots to think about. Cement bag almost ready. And just kind of looking at this for overnight, we absolutely want to get that other one. I am just going to head up there with the 7R. And kind of wait for that bag and bring it back on the pallet fork. No reason to take the trailer. Oh man, that's nice. I want to take a test drive though. Let's turn around. Just love creating something out of nothing, and I feel like that's what we've done here. We'll have a nice little shed here. We'll probably angle that a little bit different than it is right now. Be angled about like the John Deere is. But look at this open path here. Not bad at all. I do want to get a way to go around this way, so we will be clearing some of those trees eventually. But yeah, easily can just turn right there and get out of the property. Sweet. I love it, man. This is so cool. Oh, actually, before we do this, it's at 54%. We're going to go ahead and send it right now. All we have to do is hit that button, and it'll automatically go to the next phase of its process, even though it's only 54% full. That's absolutely what we want to do right now to keep the concrete factory fed overnight. And it still probably won't be enough. Still waiting for that broker to get back to us. $100,000, we could probably find a seeder, but I would love to get that Bednar on discount. Hopefully there's one not too far away from our county that they can find for us. And look at this timing. It is already there for us. Not bad at all. Good timing. Got it picked up and head on home. I'm going to go this way. I want to kind of see our dump truck coming. We're going to take the long route for once. Unless it was already there. Let's look on the map. It was not. Ooh, I see it in the horizon there. We're going to be making the turn momentarily. Make sure we give them enough room. Oh, look at that. Off-roading. Love automation. Better them than me in making that drive multiple times a day. At this point, I'm kind of worried we're not going to be able to make enough money for a combine. I'm just a little nervous now that all of our investment is really going into the shed right now. We're not making money off of goods. I know we'll be able to sell some planks at some point, but I just don't want to get too far, behind on inventory on the shed. Otherwise, it's going to take multiple years to build this. And that's definitely not what we want. We're already falling behind on concrete or cement here. So let's go ahead and add this one in. And they're getting back to work now instantly. Did they run out while we were gone? They did. So we got here in time, or maybe a little late. So they're gonna, for once, it's gonna not be the construction team that's causing this project to take too long. It's gonna be the supplier. It's a problem. But I think that means we can take a rest. Kind of wanted to get the cement truck back here, or the dump truck back before we did that. But we can go ahead and park up here by the house while we wait. Still haven't heard back from them. Used market doesn't have our goods in it. Let's go see. Our assumption's gonna be overnight we ran out of cement bags. We'll have to look into contracts, keep money coming in. We are making some money from the greenhouse still, so that's good to know, but that was only about 3,000 overnight. So yes, we are gonna need 8 more bags. And we do have 2 over here that we can move. Awesome. We're gonna get that done and then kind of just hold tight and wait for some news from our broker. We're currently working on a contract here, harvesting some sunflowers on field number 12, which isn't too far from our property actually. And we're just kind of thinking through things, and I think it might be time to drop my pride and make decisions a little more wisely. We don't need a huge seeder right now, and I've been, wanting to wait for our broker to get back to us, and was kind of hoping doing this contract it would happen, but we're just getting started. It still could. I think we might look at some cheaper options to see if we can solve our problem that way instead of going with something that's long-term. We don't absolutely have to have our long-term solution. We could have a temporary setup that we could sell long-term as we keep progressing. So I'm kind of thinking through those things, and after we get this harvest done, we'll definitely make a decision and pull the trigger on that so we can get our own field planted. And then we might have to look into the used market for something like a combine. I think that would be more beneficial than just a seeder, where we can get something smaller that will get us by for a few years. We have a tiny field. We got to keep that in mind. None of these fields are available to us financially to purchase yet, so it's a grind, and we got to take the baby steps and not try to rush it. This is like my sweet spot of field. Noah owns this one, field number 12. What is the size of this? I think this is like my favorite size here, about 15 acres, value of $353,000. That's good to know, because I just feel super comfortable in this field. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't feel overwhelmed that it's gonna take too long. I feel like it's just right. Like oh my goodness, what are the bears, the 3 bears? It's gonna drive me nuts. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh my goodness, it's Goldilocks and the 3 bears is what I'm thinking of. This is it's just terrible reference, guys. Cheesy reference, but that's how I feel about this field. The one in front of me, that's a little too big. The one we made, it's a little too small. This one, it's just right. All right, field number 3 right next to us. These are my favorites when I'm driving around. These little tiny plots that these farmers in real life are super dedicated, and like every little spot that they can plant, they will. There's a few like actually pretty close to my house of these small little plots that these farmers do. Usually it's corn, and usually I think it's corn for their cattle. But yeah, that's a little too small over there. But I love the realism on this map because that is such a realistic thing. Oh, is this gonna fit in there? I forget how this one unloads. It doesn't tip, right? It actually pushes it out because this is gonna be a tight squeeze if so. Okay, I think we're getting in here. Is this gonna work? Okay, it does tip like that. Okay, woo! Got me nervous there. Contract's going up. We got a lot to tip here. I don't know how, honestly, I don't know how well sunflowers pay in general here in the game. Yeah, we got some stuckage. Good thing this is a lease or a borrowed contract. Look at that. Okay, but it looks like $10,000. That's beyond my expectations there, and another $14,000 from the contract. But I think it's time to head up to the dealership. We will look at their inventory. We have, I mean, $140,000 almost, and I think we probably... Oh no, I reloaded and forgot to have this guy. Oh, we lost some time there in the production potentially. We're ahead on goods, but let's get in here and get this rolling. It needs to go to the production. Yep, it knows where it needs to go. I did bring a couple bags over off camera, so we need 6,000 more. So we're heading over towards the dealership. We will check while we're there and see if we have another one to bring over, if we can fit it on the pallet forks on the way back. We already have seed over here, so we don't need to purchase that. All right, let's go. All right, well, I know myself pretty well. I don't understand why it turned that much, but we're gonna go look at the production first because I will forget after buying the seeder. So let's go grab a pallet if we have it. If we don't, we just wasted a little bit of diesel. Yeah, one pallet here. I don't think we're gonna be close. It's not far off, but we're not close enough for me to hang out for that next bag. All right, but the main reason we drove up here, let's take a look at this catalog. I know the second we buy this, we're gonna see an amazing deal for our seeder, and we could buy it if we really wanted it. I mean, for what we have right now, the Great Plains one absolutely seems like it would be good, and we could add the fertilizer distributor unit as well. I haven't used this since Walter's farm on Riverbend Springs. I think we're gonna go for it. We're gonna buy it. And since I thought last episode we were doing fertilizer, we have fertilizer at home, so we'll be able to get seed and fertilizer in this bad boy and really learn about what's gonna happen with precision farming here. Let's get it home. We'll drop off the cement bag first and get to rolling on getting our barley finally planted. And heading out to the field finally. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. It'll be nice to do some work on our own field now. And this should be a little bit easier to handle than the last one we were working with. I don't know why words are so hard. The plow was just running into everything. It's so big in here. Using the right equipment for the right job is what we need to focus on. And until we have bigger fields, implements like this are just beyond perfect for what we're working on here. 7 miles an hour, get around, I guess, like, gosh, do I do it this way? I might have to, with those trees, especially doing the headlands. It's actually not bad so far. I think we're gonna hit that tree though. Cruising pretty good. Never do in cab for planting. This is new for me. And it looks like the nitrogen level is turning green, so everything's working as we expected. Let's get a tighter view here, I guess is what I have to do, third person. And it wouldn't be one of our fields without it, the GPS being configured like this, where it's not a straight line. I love these type of shape of fields. We got a lot of work to do to get this, like, oh my goodness. I'm excited. This is definitely turning into my favorite thing to do in FS25 so far. Whiskey RP will, you know, it'll be close. Absolutely love this type of series. Hope you guys are enjoying it too. Let's get her done. We shouldn't have any problems with our environmental score with the way we've been doing things. It should be pretty good, actually. I haven't checked it in a while, but I did notice while we're selling stuff, we were getting positive, the positive bonus. which is always nice. Getting this field finished. I am enjoying the size of it. I didn't even do speed override on this, just cruising and enjoying the process. Probably do every other row with this turning radius. Yeah, that seems to be about right. And then we'll get it done. Won't take too much longer. Still a little tough to see every time we turn around, but we'll solve that problem. Hopefully, we're probably gonna have to before we harvest, because harvesting with the taller combine is gonna be an issue with these limbs that are hanging over, and we might just trim the limbs. I'm kind of debating, like we did in the road earlier, so we can keep a little bit of the nature out here as much as possible. I'm just loving it. Like, this view, just amazing. Amazing. Well, we got the field planted. Everything's all set there. We'll have to figure out what we have to do with it next month. I don't think we're gonna see any weeds since we've done a good job with plowing it, and weeds don't show up when you plow in this game. So that's probably all we have to do to that field until it's time to harvest, which allows us to really focus on the rest of the farm and the other things we're trying to get prepared here. So before we end up today's episode, let's go ahead and head on over to the construction site and see how progress is going over there. Still hear noise, that's good. So with about 600 to go, how are we on producing the next bag? Not bad. Okay, we're doing pretty good. I think what we'll do is I'm gonna pause it here. I'm gonna get that next bag and then we'll regroup next episode, and I'm hoping we get to see the next stage here soon. And I don't know how many stages there are on this. It'll be fun to find out, but I am Socksway Up. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you on the next episode. What's up, everybody? We're back in Minnesota. It is time to get back to SWU Farms. We're going to take a small break from Whiskey RP as we have a nice cliffhanger out there for you guys. We're selling all of the lumber that we can here. That gave us a nice $53,000. I also put the sawmill back to selling for now while we're waiting for the cement bags for our new shed that we're building in our workshop. So let's see where the wood beams get sold. Farmer's market, but we also could deposit them in the shed because we will need them in the future, but I think we need money more. We still don't have a harvester, and it's gonna be time to harvest in a couple months. I don't believe it's this side of the farmer's market. Let's cruise around to the other side here. And we did make about 10 grand when the hour flipped over from the sawmill as well, so we're at 179. A lot of things in mind to buy. Expansions on my brain as well. I don't like the amount of land we have. I would like to have a few more, maybe a field, but land is super expensive in this county. Let's get home. We might have to cut down some more trees, but I think it's time to make it November. Snow is coming, and grabbing these pallets here means we only need one more after this. And how close are we over here? We're a little bit of ways, so we'll come back later today and get the last of the cement bags that we need for the construction site. But that also means we're close to that next phase, and once we know what we need, we'll adjust the sawmill, and we got time. And we do know it's a heavy winter here in Minnesota, so I think we're probably gonna be skipping a lot of time. And just cruise on up and drop these off, and we'll check the capacity after that. Let's see what it says here. 1,000 missing. Hopefully that's accurate and we don't need the extra one. And see how the capacity at the sawmill's looking. We might need to add... Ooh, got some fancy lights on over there. We might need to add some more lumber to the sawmill. We'll see how the stone production's doing over here to see how soon our worker needs to head in to drop off more stones. Let's make sure... Oh, this got shut off. That's weird. So we'll get that rolling again. And they should be close. Let's look in here. 38%. Yeah, that will fill it up. They'll be making a trip in. We'll have them do that before we make it December, but really nothing to do. Let's go take a look at our field. It should be growing a little bit now. And this is what we do need the harvester and a grain cart for here. That's what we're saving up for. Barley's at stage 2. Everything's looking good. Nitrogen's taken care of. Weeds are taken care of. I don't see any weeds. pH looks good as well. Let's check the sawmill. 22,000, so we could go another month, but we might want to start clearing some land, and I am tempted to get all this cleared and construct another one of these sawmills. So Let's go ahead and start chopping down the trees right here. We'll get them moved over. And at that point, we'll go check on the cement bag we need. And just keep moving quickly through the winter here. All right, we're about to find out if we do need one more pallet or not here. And what the next required materials are gonna be. Well, more bricks, more brick bags. I guess we will get the cement bricks in it. Let's go ahead and activate those. We'll get them going. And this is, yeah, gonna be quite the process. We put in a request to find a used bednar. I don't think we're gonna actually buy it. Our money is up to $255. The sawmill is absolutely busting through some money for us as we're getting through November here, and I'm just waiting for some items to spawn in the morning. We're gonna load them up on the trailer and get them instantly over to the production sites. Not gonna lie, I'm regretting this. So 8,000 cement bricks we still need, and 2,000 bags, and I don't know what's gonna be after that, but there's no place to buy them on this map. I was tempted to spend the money we have, so, we're almost at 300,000, but it's not gonna work out. No one in town has those supplies. We're the only ones, so we're kind of stuck, just waiting. Super early morning here in January. We're gonna pick up all the wood chips, or at least what we can fit in here. See if we can get all 44,000. I don't remember the capacity here, and we're gonna go sell those while they're at a good price. Be heading to the farmer's market with that, and it looks like we could do 2 trips, but I think we'll hold off on the second trip. We'll just do 20. Well, you know what? It is still 12,000, so we will come back for the second one. And we did get some good weather in December. I'm hoping the same happens here in January, where the snow goes away in the middle of the day so we can make a little bit of progress. But I think we might be waiting through the winter. Just kind of keep doing what we're doing. Got to get through all these months. That's where we get some good weather. And I don't remember, whoa, slippery, which side these go in. We'll see if the icon pops up here. It does. All right, so this is where it goes. So let's see what 29,000 liters of wood chips is going to bring in here in January. 48,000. That's not bad at all. About 50 grand right there. We're at $400,000. The beauty of all of the prep work we've done over the first 9 episodes is super paying off right now. Going through this winter, just watching the money increase. Our revenue is just through the roof right now. We're going to be able to expand soon. Well, another 14,000 to take in, which will be a good chunk of change if we can get turned around here. The beauty of snow. All right, here we are. Another 14, almost 15,000 liters of wood chips getting sold. Another $24,000. Now, the beauty of this automation is we should be able to get them about right here. Turn this on, and they will take over for us. And there they go. And we're back over here waiting for some goods to populate and having some time pass. All right, it's coming along nice over here. We're getting some walls. Drop off some goods. Let's see what is missing now. It is going to be the next step. It moved on to the next step. Bricks. 3,000 more bricks. Oh, no. Okay. So 0 are missing the cement. I was looking at it wrong. I was thinking we're closer. We still need 3,000 more bricks, and we might get there by the end of the month. Let's go ahead and head over here. Make sure once the semi gets back, or the dump truck gets back, that they're able to get their stones dropped in here, because we want to make sure that production keeps rolling. When we hit the 9 o'clock hour, we should hit $500,000. I mean, and the main reason is because once it comes time to buy land, this one's 1.3 million, this one's 1.1. 13 is what we're eyeing for 384. We can afford that now, but we're not going to be satisfied with that long term. This is, we mentioned when we started this series, this is going to be basically kind of plan on playing this for the whole iteration of FS25. We'll take breaks here and there, but trying to build a huge farm. This is my home farm, and I want to start that as a new trend every time we have a game. We have a beautiful map that we like that we're going to make our main project. And that's why there's not a ton of farming at first, because we're building it from the ground up, and we'll get to the farming, and we'll forget that these productions exist at some point. How are we doing wood-wise over here? Oh, good thing we caught that. We're going to need to move a few more logs in here. Now, in theory, this hail should clear up the snow, right? Heading home with the last 3,000 cement bricks, $560,000 in the bank accounts. We're getting low on stones, so we will have to slow down a little bit and make sure that that production can catch up. But it's almost time to get back to farming. Looking super close here, just the last 3,000 to drop off. And once this processes, we'll be able to know what's next. I have a feeling it's going to be some wood for the roofs, and then we'll go from there. Let's shut off the truck, though. We got to wait out this storm and hope that the snow disappears this month. Looks like the truck is on its way back, so we'll get that filled back up and double check everything else. But it's been a grind here getting through winter. The episode's not over. We still got some more to do. Just got to wait out this storm and hope the snow goes away. Otherwise, it's going to be April before we can do anything. It's quite the hailstorm going on here. Now it's finally switched to regular rain. I don't know if we're going to get much time to do anything. The rain's still 1,800. But I want to get past this last 1,000, see what's next here, and then we'll slow down time and figure out what we can get done. If it's light rain, we might be able to do some work. All right, the next step here is wood beams. Let's go ahead and go into the production, and wood beams we will switch to storing. And we're not close on one, but we do have a good amount to go through here. And we just need 1,000, so that'll be good. So we'll get times at times 5 now. Over here, just about full. How did they do? Just at 13,000, so we're looking good. All right, first things first, let's go ahead and purchase that land we want. And I don't know if this will be able to be mowed up or if we're gonna wanna make a field out here. Let's look at the calendar. Cotton we can plant. Next month we can start planting a lot more things. We could get some soybeans in this year and harvest them in October. We could do something like oats. Plant them now, harvest them in July, and then plant something like barley in the fall, or wheat. This could be a good sized field though. I think I am going to elect to not mow the grass. We don't have the equipment for it, so we're just gonna detach from that, hook up to the cultivator, or the plow. I think, is that a plow? I can't remember what technical class for that one is. See if it shows when we hover over it. It is a plow. Let's head down our road because I do want to continue this road eventually, and in the back of the area that we just purchased is where we're going to put our house, our long-term home. A little harder to see without... What happened there? Okay, let's try that again. Let's get farther over. It's a little harder to see with the grass the way it is. What happened there? Okay. Let's try it again. With the grass the way it is, it's harder to see the road, but we are following it now, and if we go out this way, let's go. Okay. No more cab view. Now, how do you get stuck and not be able to reverse either? All right, so we can see the road here, so let's go ahead and go to the right, or yeah, to the right of that road. And I think what we're gonna do, let's jump in the sky. So it's coming this way, and I think we're gonna somewhat hug the middle here, and then go back. Actually, I think the wise thing to do is hop in this and just create it. We're gonna follow this road and see where it ends. Our property's to the right for Field 14's the $1.3 million property. So I've somewhat had a vision of what I want to do out here. So what we want is this road to go to the left a little bit. Let's go ahead and lower this down. Got it turned on, so this will start creating it for us. We're gonna kind of squeeze this way. And then once we get about right here, we're gonna start cruising over. And that should be far enough to then start cruising back to going directly south here. And around this vicinity is where the house will end up going long term. So we'll just go to the end of this grass and then we'll lift a little bit here. Now to head to the other road to get them to connect. All right, let's get lined up here because I do want to kind of respect this existing path that we've created. Going this way, and then we're going to curve a little bit to the right and meet up with that road. we'll do like a Y right here. I'll start leaning this way if we're going right. So that's all settled there. Now we come over here and start leaning to the left. All right, that should be good. Let's take a look now. So right here we have a little Y in the road, a little fork, and we'll get this decorated eventually. Maybe we'll plant some bushes out here and some trees, start bringing this to life, but that'll be the road that does lead to the house eventually. We have a little area right here that we could do something with. I don't think it's big enough for a field, but this one back here we can definitely cultivate up or plow up, and we're gonna do a big field over here next. Let's go ahead and get this put away and then get back into the John Deere and start making our two new fields. Wood beams starting to come together. It's a pretty cool process. I don't like how long it takes, but it's a pretty sweet process they've added to this game. And before we get busy, I'm gonna see how close we are to that wood beam. Yeah, we're a ways away. Okay, so right here should be safe. Fields enabled. Start cruising forward here. Make this outline. We're gonna see how big this actually is. Now we own the property behind here, the trees we're looking at, as part of our original plot of land, so this is gonna be a good size field. It'll be good to compete with some of these other farmers with their field size in town. And is our path to, I guess the one next to us is what I'm eyeing next for, you know, well over 1 million, so productions are gonna help us get there fast, as well as the crops we're gonna plant. Let's bust it out. And we'll just try to clean up the edge here. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and lift. There's a sharp corner there. I might... Oh, I thought I lifted. There we go. We might end up rounding that a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of that, but there's a new field here. Glorious. Get fields enabled again. Back at it. Do the inside of this. We're going to have to get it scanned. And then I think next month we will be planting in here. Get the soil sample going. I'll see you in a little bit. And complete with one field. Tires are getting pretty muddy out here. Nice organic looking shape to the field. I love it. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know these are my favorite types of fields. Now this one, it's not going to be as big, but it'll definitely be usable farm area for us. Let's go ahead and lower this again. Start cruising around, and this is one we may expand to be larger when we cut down the trees to the left. I do have a couple ideas for that area. I'm not sure what all is going to fit. So we're not going to make any decisions on that yet. And another small field complete. Now this one's not as large as we would like it, as we just mentioned, but a lot more farm work to do. Definitely going to diversify this series for us and mix up the work we've been working on. Super excited. The expansion here, pretty impressive. We do know that we have a decent amount of money coming in every month, especially when we're able to sell all the goods from the lumber yard, from the sawmill. Let's see if we can sneak through here. So far, so good. Just one more turn. Make sure we go wide enough. Nice. And they're filling up there. Everything's working the way it's supposed to. But I think next episode, we'll get those soil samples going and get the fields planted in the spring. We'll be using the Icera Pro. Also, the Great Plains planter here. Or the seeder. We'll see what decision we need to make on that out there, because we might want to buy a planter so we can get different crop types going. But taking a peek over here, plenty of wood still, and it's going to be a little bit for that wood beam. But I'm Socks Way Up. I will catch you on the next episode. Welcome back to SWU Farms, our Rags to Riches survival challenge series on the channel. I was so excited to get back into this playthrough. I had to do it today. We had to do it. We're doing back-to-back episodes. And just parking the plow back over here. We do need to get a pressure washer on this series, but I checked the used equipment, and there was something I was beyond excited about. Let's take a look. 52% off. We have this, what model is it? It is the S760 series John Deere harvester. We're gonna go ahead and buy that. $114,000. That leaves us with $113,000. We're gonna leave that at the dealership for now. But it's in our name, it is ours. We'll have to get a header to go with it. That was the big item. I'm kind of debating if we just quick roll this. Let's see how expensive it is. We go purchase soil information. Oh, $2,100, absolutely, let's do it. So we now see all the soil information here. We got a mixture, a sandy, loamy sand. We have sandy loam and loam. No silty clay though, so potential yield, not the best, 94%. Not terrible, but do we have lime? We have a little bit of lime. That's not gonna go very far. So I think that's the first thing we're gonna wanna do today. We do have the last wood plank going on in here, or wood beam. It's got 800 to go, it looks like. 886. So let's go buy some lime and we'll get spreading lime on our 2 new fields. I was hoping this storm was gonna pass, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna. Cruising on up to the dealership, we should see our new harvester here momentarily. Look at that beauty. That's beyond perfect, beyond perfect. All right, let's go talk to them, get a little bit of lime purchased. We'll use that to load it on the trailer. Should be perfect. We're gonna go with 8 bags to start with. I don't think it's gonna be enough, but you know what? We have the money right now. Let's do 16 bags. We'll get them all at home. And that will allow us to, you know, hopefully get both those fields completely prepped with lime, and I gotta go this way. And that'll get us ready to be able to plant today as well. I think we're gonna, let's go ahead and repair it, $12. We're gonna sell this and get a different one. I'm not enjoying playing with that trailer. Let's go ahead and hop in here. We're just gonna go with my favorite. Might as well. That'll be good. We might as well take this directly out to the field. Let's go ahead and use the new extension of our road here. Well, to get where I want, the road isn't super convenient, but we are going to go ahead and use the little Y in the road, the fork in the road. Head on back, and I think about right here, there's a little bit of space in the grass where we're going to sneak over, and that'll be where we're at, so they can reload, or we can reload pretty easily there. Gotta get this going. I always forget I have to restart it every time. I feel like we're getting dangerously close to needing a second tractor. Is this gonna fit back here? It does, okay. We're gonna get the little bit that we have in this bag, and then we'll head out to the field to get it topped off if this doesn't do it. I think it might actually. Or we got the whole bag is what I meant to say there. So let's head out to the field now. We'll get completely topped off. I think it holds 2,000 at a time. And we'll start on the bigger field. I wanna prioritize that first. But you can see the difference between driving through here now that it's spring. The grass looks so much easier. We can see our path a little bit better. It's a little rough to see where we're going in the winter there. All right. Good sized field. Feels good to get to farming. Sneak over here, top off. And now we'll head on to the field, and I think we'll just set up a course here. One headland should be fine. Get locked in, enable it, and away we go. It is applying 2.63 tons per hectare, which doesn't seem to be too terrible. I don't think we'll quite get around the headland before we run out, but we should have plenty of material based on how it's going so far. Turning it a nice green color on the map. Not consistent. I did hear that there's issues around that, and I thought I had the setting on to where it should be consistent, but we're not too worried about it. This is going to be a long liming session, though. An upgrade is already needed. And we can almost justify it at this point with this field size. I think we'll get through this one using the little spreader, and then we'll keep an eye on the used market to see if a bigger one pops into existence used and a lot cheaper for us. Just an awkward little section to do here. We bought plenty. We probably could have got away with just 8, but having the extra will be fine. We still have $110,000, so it didn't really hurt us financially to buy all that. But looking good. I think I saw some stones, which kind of confuses me. I thought I had that disabled, but there's just one spot. But this should be enough this last time filling it up here, at least for this field. And then, yeah, plenty left over for the next field and the next few years. And the last section going in now. It's going to be close. We actually might need a little bit more. That's dropping a lot faster, 4.3 right here. So this might not be enough once we turn around to do this last pass. Actually, I'm going to go top up just to be careful or safe, because I don't want to be at the end of the field and go back, you know. We got it. And away we go. Now, thinking through this, I don't know if we want to buy a planter at this point. I kind of want to wait till we have a bigger tractor so we can get a decent sized planter, because the rest of the fields on this map are pretty large. These are going to be the smallest fields we're working in moving forward. So I guess we could check what crops we can plant with our seeder and make a decision based off of that. But let's get this other one done with the lime before we make any decisions about planting. And this one should be pretty quick. Doesn't seem like the levels need to be adjusted as much as the other field for whatever reason. But we will not complain about that. But there is a little section over here we didn't get, so we'll go snag that next. And that's going to complete the liming session for this year. Not bad, not bad. We did overbuy, but we're fine. And probably should have got seed while we're out there and fertilizer. Coming in hot. That was a little too fast. Probably don't want to go 30 miles an hour down our little dirt road. 20's probably pushing it, to be honest. I feel like it had to have been enough time. Are you serious? One wood beam? Why does it do that? So 2,000 planks. We're only missing 99, it says. I don't know if I believe it there, but let's get that set up here. And planks we will change to storing. I don't know if distributing works, and gosh, we need another tree cut down. 5,000 left in here. We need to get a couple more. I'll fill that up, then we'll get to planting. We're almost to the point where we can fit that other sawmill out here. But we had enough fertilizer. We're going to fill this up with oats. We're going to have some of those delivered from the store. Barley's looking good. It's coming along. Now this seeder's going to feel tiny. Oh, we missed our turn. And they kindly delivered them right here. We'll have to get some more fertilizer, I imagine, but we'll do that as we need it. All right, let's get this configured as well. We'll probably want to do three headlands. That's what I was thinking. We will do those first, and away we go. Yeah, this is going to feel small in comparison to the other field. But, gosh, it's going to feel rewarding when it comes time to harvest this. Let's get it done. 100% of the fertilizer just doing a headland, so absolutely going to need to buy more. But let's get the other two done and see where we're sitting. Should be able to get all 3 headlands done without filling up. And with the headlands done, I think this would be a good time to stop and refill. We'll get an order of fertilizer delivered, so we don't have to stop anymore after this. Let's get our cruise control set. We are going about 13 on this job. And I think we're going to want to loop about 3 rows. Yeah, about like that should do it. Maybe 1 more, actually, because this next turn is going to be a little rough. Only turning it orange here. The other sides seem to be turning it green compared to the soil types. Kind of impressed here. We still have 32% left. We have everything over there. Almost feel like it's a good time to fill back up. And we should be able to do the rest of it with 1 more load, but maybe... Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to risk that. It's not really a risk, but you know what I mean. But oats are going in the ground good here. I think the back side of that field is going to use a little more fertilizer though, so I think it would be wise. Let's go ahead and lift here. Cruise on over. We'll top off on both seed and fertilizer just to be safe. Get back on the field here. Oh, we're a lot farther from the line than I thought we were. Back at it. And we'll see if this does it for us or not. Well, at this point, I think it's pretty clear we're not going to make it all the way. We're going to need a little more fertilizer, so I'm glad we bought the 2 containers. You can see we did run into it with the fork, so I did adjust it there. Is this a safe way to drive? I feel like I'll run into less stuff. I mean, I can't go much lower. Just seems safer that way. But let's see if we can just snag all of the fertilizer out of this one and the seed. I don't think we're going to be able to fit all the seed, but we'll try. And the fertilizer did. Let's top off. We're going to risk it. Why not? Why the heck not? All right, back at it. Just this little section to do, and then we'll get to the next field. We're going to do oats as well. And I'm really hoping this is the only time we have to plant this field with this tiny little seeder. Kind of wish I could reconfigure this seeder to hold the amount of seed, like to swap it to where the amount of seed is the fertilizer and the amount of fertilizer is the seed. Just because the way it's been going on both of the crop types, I'm sure there might be one that uses a lot of seed, but like lately it seems like we need more capacity for fertilizer. Just a thought. And we're gonna run out. We're gonna run out. Yeah, not even there. Okay, so let's lift. We'll go fill back up one more time. We should have topped off that last time, but we didn't. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. And last pass on the big field. Which definitely feels bigger compared to when we were plowing it. Because that huge plow made it go real fast. We'll get matching equipment. It'll be good. The sun's trying to come out too. This is glorious. All right, let's head on over. I guess we could grab this little speck right here. Now, 3 headlands might be excessive on this, but I think we're gonna do that anyways, but we're gonna do them last. And we're gonna try to set this up the best way possible here. And see, that's not gonna work for me. Let's go ahead and adjust that. That should be pretty good. That's not good. There we go. And might as well. We can start right here. Lower it. What the heck? Okay, not sure what happened there. Away we are on the second field. Shouldn't take as long as the last one, obviously, based on size. And I'm kind of interested to see if we're gonna be able to pull this off without having to fill up with fertilizer. I think we're gonna need more fertilizer. That's what my guess is. Well, I did decide to do the headlands here, and it's just, I like it better, guys. I've tried to adjust. I know a lot of people have said that in real life, you do the headlands last when planting, but it just feels better to me. So I'm gonna do me. To my surprise, plenty of fertilizer, and well, we knew seed wasn't gonna be an issue. But we now have 3 fields planted. It feels good. I miss GPS. I miss regular old GPS. Just, that's where we'll leave it. But we have 1 of the 2 planks that we need. And did we not? Oh, we didn't adjust the beams. The beams are still spawning our wood beams. Yeah. So we're gonna change that to selling. All right, let's grab this, take it on over. If we can get close enough, my goodness. All right. That was an adventure. Let's go ahead and cruise around the dump truck. It's getting filled up again right now. Take this nice road on over to our almost finished shed. And we'll be swapping that out if you're new to the series. We have a shed in mind, and we wanted to use the constructibles to build one, so we didn't have to pay for the whole thing, since we're making all the goods that the constructible needed. So we need 1 more, yeah, okay. And I feel like there's gonna be at least 1 more phase, if not 2 more, after this one. All right, it's late at night, but we've got the other 1,000 wood planks here. Gonna cruise on over, drop it off, see if we can get it to that next phase. Ah, look at that. Required for the next step, we need wood planks and we need roof plates. 6,000 roof plates. So this one needs to get activated, and we need to go that to storing. And this one's activated, making us money. We might as well activate all of them. I don't remember if they run in parallel, but we're super close to that being a thing. And the other thing was planks long. Change that to storing. Change planks back to selling. And we should be good to make it morning. All right, 2,000 planks long. Gonna head on over. I still haven't gotten that mod to strap in the forks yet. Definitely think that would be a perfect one for me. Starting to see some production over there, some progress, even though we have no roof tiles or roof plates over here yet. But let's go ahead and drop this off, and then we're gonna head on in and see what was produced overnight at the cement factory. But let's double check our inputs here. Yeah, okay, so we have everything satisfied for this stage. Let's go ahead and change all of this to selling. And get in the truck and head on to the store. And there's our oats, looking good. Okay, so we messed up. Are we not storing the roof plates? Or did they spawn in that slow? Let's double check here. Wow, okay. it is on storing. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit of time until we get enough of those roof plates. So that is kind of where that facility is stuck for now. Oh, nothing else to do in May. We can find where we can sell these though. Farmer's market, about 20 grand right there. Not bad. So we're at around $180,000 to end May. We have June and July to go here in the second year on this survival challenge. I'm Soxway up. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to get to those harvests next episode. We'll have to buy a header to go with the combine that we bought today. I'll catch you on that one. It should be a good one. Peace. We bought the S760 John Deere harvester. Today I bought a nice header that goes with it, which also required me to upgrade the auger to a longer one so that it'll work together. I did realize we have a tight fit in here. We'll have to figure that out, maybe cut down a few more trees to make our entrance to this field larger, but this will be the first field that we've got to harvest of our own on this playthrough. I'm super excited about it, but our money's lower. We did spend a lot of money to get this equipment and get it ready. We still don't have a grain cart, and we still don't have a silo. So today we're gonna borrow a few items. We're gonna do a baling contract for Ben, and we're gonna do a few weeding contracts as well. And these last two small rows should get it done. Just time to collect our money. That brings our total to $120,000. That's not gonna be enough, but I think I do wanna wait until July to find out how short we are. I just don't see any good contracts that will really satisfy us. So what I'm gonna do is go buy somewhat of a cheap grain cart to get started with, and then we'll upgrade it eventually, but we need around $145,000 for the silo I want. So let's go get that grain cart. We know we need it, and then after that we'll see how much money we have left over. We do need to clear some land before we get to that harvest because I do need to get the silos delivered. They'll be installed today, and hopefully we'll get done with the shed soon because that's just driving me nuts. For $37,000, I think this one would be a good start for us. Little farm tech trailer, and you know, we have a silo. Once we have the silo nearby where we're harvesting, the capacity won't be, you know, a big problem to begin with until we get bigger fields. So I think this is a wise decision, and I think if we wait a couple more hours, or if we just drive through this crop and then get home, we could cut down some trees, sell them. We do need to clear some land for the silo. Yeah, let's baby step it. Let's get back there. Let's figure that out. See how short we are financially and go from there. And I thought I'd give a little update. We're still 4,000 short on roof plates, so that's still gonna be a little bit of time. We might figure out something else to get that done today though. All right, so we kind of need this done. We kind of need it done. What we're gonna do is the next 4,000 roof plates that spawn, I am going to throw away. It's time. And here it is, it fit. It fit good. Okay, so a lot more detailing is gonna happen around this area. We're gonna get some landscaping going, but this is our shed. You know, it's similar to the one that we used in a different series, but I love it. We'll have a place to repair things now. We'll get a pressure washer in here eventually. I wish it came with one built in, but that'll be all right. Let's go ahead and get all these opened up, and we'll slowly start getting this thing populated with all of our equipment. But I think for now, this is gonna be more than enough capacity. So one more hour, we'll have enough money. We're at 144, puts us a little short, and this is the area I kind of want the silo. Let me do some planning about that. Let me think about it. Well, it turns out that it wasn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. It was $125, so we have $19,000 left over. We still need to do some grading on this road to make it a little more functional. You see a big drop right here we're going to have to take care of, and a route eventually, but I think we'll get by today with the harvest that we have. We have some lumber that we could sell. I'm gonna actually shut the truck off. We're gonna hold off on that for now. It might end up going to the sawmill. I haven't decided yet, but we do owe ourselves 4 things of roof plates, and we'll keep that in mind. But yeah, this is sweet. This is gonna work out good. It's time. Let's head on over to the barley field. And look at that crop ready to go. So we'll hold off right here. I'm not really sure if we're gonna even need a full combine here. We're gonna find out. We'll definitely need it for the back fields. You can see we did have a little bit of crop damage right here when I was trying to get into the area. I think it's, yeah, it's so tiny you can barely even see it. But let's jump in our new harvester here and see about getting this all hooked up and working. If we can get into the field, that is the big concern. Is the opening big enough? We're gonna take our grain cart with us, our header trailer with us. I think I know what we gotta do. We gotta back out here like this. So close to this tree, isn't it? Let's see. Oh yeah, right there. Okay, so we need to sneak in here somehow and get this out of the way. And these guys have been here forever. All right, let's grab the John Deere. We'll drop the grain trailer for a second. We're gonna have to get that header trailer moved. Gosh, I guess this opening is big enough right here. We could have done it that way. I was thinking it wasn't though. And there was really no way to get back here with the header on it. Definitely hard to navigate in the trees. Try not to damage any of this crop. I think we can just swing like this. And that should get the grain trailer out of the way for now. I keep calling it a grain trailer. That is a header trailer. And then we can sneak back over here and hook back up to the actual grain trailer. And then we should be able to sneak on in now with this. All right. Everything seems to be prepped here. Pretty glorious moments. First time harvesting our own fields. And we ran into a tree already. I knew that was gonna be an issue. My goodness, that's so picky. There we go, we got it. Now we're gonna learn the spots where we're gonna wanna remove some trees for next time to allow us to actually, you know, not damage the equipment when we run into trees like that. Tight squeeze. But we're looking at 120% yield here. This is pretty glorious for the small area. A little bit of straw going on the ground as well. Now all three crop types are going to be, well, they're two crop types, but all three fields are going to generate straw for us. So we're going to definitely need a baler next. And that's something else that we should have been keeping an eye on financially. $22,000. I'm not sure we're going to get lucky with anything in the market for that cheap that we wouldn't just instantly outgrow. But we will take a look after we get done with the harvest. I'm missing just a few spots, but we knew that was going to be the problem with how close we planted to the trees. The terrain change here is also going to be somewhat of an issue. It's going pretty good. Oh, we just damaged some crops. Just damaged a little bit there. That's not too bad though. 10,572 liters. Not a bad start in here. Seems to have great yield. We did a great job taking care of this property. Oh, the height here. That's not very many. Oh, maybe we're on a terrain difference there. Yeah, we are. It's leaning big time. I was gonna say that's gonna be a problem. Is the terrain that different, or is it the harvester? That's crazy. All right, close it up, get this back going, and finish this harvest. There does seem to be a few spots that it's having a hard time getting the grain here. We'll see if going this way, if it'll pick it up. Yeah, uneven field. Kind of knew that was going to be the issue. But it looks like we're getting about 12.9, or sorry, 15.9, 15.8 tons per hectare. And yeah, there's a big spot that it missed there. My goodness. And definitely not a lot of barley to start with here. And let's go ahead and try out that new silo. Cutting through some brush for now, but like I said, we will definitely get this landscaped eventually. Our first barley going in our new silo. Capacity is 500,000 liters, and we're not even going to tip that today. 14,000, almost 15,000 liters in there. And that'll be at its best price in March, and we're gonna make around $16,000 off that field. Not very good. Super disappointed I can't find or seem to get a hold of the gentleman that runs this field here, because I would love to do this contract. Ben, where you at? All right, we're gonna have to get a shed just for this thing, and I think it's gonna live out. See if I can get it to jackknife enough for me, turn enough, crank it so we don't hit my truck. Crank it a little bit more. Yeah, right in this little vicinity is where it's gonna live for now. That'll be okay. Just slowly moving our goods around, our equipment, getting them in the shed where they're gonna belong long term. And that's gonna free us up to selling some of these buildings up front that I don't want anymore. These two sheds here, the barn and the shed. And repurpose this area long term. Ooh, quite the squeeze, but we got it. Cedar will fit in here. Good to know. It's about as tall of a tractor that will fit in here as well. I'll go ahead and leave it in here for now. We've got a lot more equipment to move in here and just kind of get to fit, but I think that's a good time to take a look at the catalog and see if we can figure out a baler that's gonna work for us. I feel like the Massey Ferguson might be what we start with. They're tiny bales. We're gonna be selling the straw right away. I don't think we're gonna store it for a while. I think that'll do it. Really gets us tapped out financially though. We did have it delivered. It was another $500 for that, and just instantly filling up and dropping bales. Pretty good width that it's picking up though. And at least these bales are a size that we could pick up by hand, throw them on the trailer. All right, let's get it done. And getting these baled up just in time for the rain to hit. There's a nice large swath that dropped over there where we started that I do want to grab. And then everything else I'm kind of just let it stay there. Not too concerned with it. But another $3,000 just deposited in our account, or close to. That's what we're getting. I think it's about $2,500 every hour that cycles right now between the cement factory, the sawmill, and the greenhouse, which once we have funding, we'll probably be adding a few more greenhouses in the area where we're going to sell those buildings. I think that'll do it. Let's go ahead and unload these. All right, and we were going to put this away for now and go pick up the trailer and see how many of these we have. I guess it shows us 69 bales is what we got there. 69 tiny little bales. All right, that's put away under cover. Rain is starting to come down a little bit harder now. We're gonna kind of cheat the system here. Not necessarily cheat it, but take advantage of some of our space and store the bales underneath the shed here of the sawmill for the night. So I do think I want to see, how much we can actually get with the next harvest. That's all we're gonna do in July. We're just gonna wait out this storm and hope that the weather cooperates in August for us to get the next harvest. Boy, that would be nice. We just don't have the funding for it right now. Now that we've acquired this land that we're about to harvest today, I'm really debating if we want to keep the smaller field or if we want to re-leverage that land for more productions long term. $16,000 from the harvest, and probably I guess time-saving stock check will tell us for the straw around 8,000. So $24,000 is what we're making off that field every year. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be very beneficial, but we are headed out to the two new fields, the oat fields. Man, that looks pretty. Turned out good out here. Love this little road we made, a little bit of grass on each side of it. I'm ready to jump back in the harvester and see how much money we can make off of oats. And look at this. Instead of us doing a contract, Ben just let it go to waste. Now, oats don't yield as well as barley does, so I expect this to be a little bit less time unloading than what we were seeing at that first field. And you can see the numbers super low. We're getting about 5 tons per hectare, where we were getting about 15, so a third of the output here on this crop type. In certain areas will yield better because of the soil types, we do know that, but I think it's time to just focus on this and get her done. Well, I am beyond satisfied with how this is turning out. We're gonna have to stop right here and unload. Didn't completely get around the headland, but that's a good problem to have. The more we unload, the more money we're making. Yeah, flowing good. Got that header still running, so it's a little dangerous if we walk in front of that, but I think we'll just leave the cart there. I'm gonna keep on harvesting, and I don't know if we're gonna need any employees to help us out anytime soon. These field sizes, this one's decent. It's not large. Definitely compared to the rest of this county, it is definitely not large, so, but let's get back at it. We got the little field to do next as well. Finish this headland, then we'll get some ups and downs going. It took a little while. It is August, it says year 3, so we're starting year 3 really right now. And we're finally in a flow of flipping our own fields. And getting this second load here, I do think we're gonna be able to fit this whole field in this grain cart, but I imagine this is more money. We'll see. Oats aren't the best when it comes to finances. We do know that, Typical oats prices are a little bit higher actually than barley. Barley will peak at 1100 and doesn't fluctuate a ton here. Where the oats, they don't either. So I guess we don't really have to wait to sell these. Interesting. Not a lot of fluctuation here in Minnesota. Let's get back at it. 75% full of the farm tech, so I believe it will be full if we get another hopper full of the harvester. So it looks like we will be filled up one more time and facing the wrong way. So I'm gonna get this little piece here, and then we will unload and finish the harvest. 28,000 liters here, so that's about $56,000, or close to. Let's drop it off at the silo, and then we'll be able to finish the harvest. Everything going as planned. And after dropping off the goods, we can see in here the oats are worth $54,000 right now, and we're not done yet. And all done with the harvest, another pretty much full harvester here, which means it's another about 20 grand. Pretty pleased. I'm pleasantly surprised that we still have a little harvest to do over here, and we filled it up. Pretty good day. Pretty pleased with the way these fields are yielding these oats. And sneaking up here to drop off the last bit of oats. Hoping it all fits. It does, but another $50,000. So this was more than a $100,000 day, which is definitely a start. We want more fields. These fields are a lot more expensive than that. That's why we got those productions going to really increase our revenue every hour. See, we're already up to 73,000. We were just at about, what, $300 or $3,000 not too long ago? Now it's time to make some decisions. Do we just sell this stuff right away, get some upgrades that are going to help us get going with the harvest or the planting session? 67,000 liters used, 14,000 of it barley and 53,000 of it oats. Time saving stock check shows that we have $102,000 worth of oats, 105 at peak price, and barley is 16,000. Pretty productive day, and it's only 11 o'clock. I made a decision. I also did a little remodeling, decorating, started somewhat working on what this is gonna look like here. You can see we have a little exit road, but we are gonna sell the oats. I'm gonna send this down or take it down to the sales location, and probably 3 trips because we're gonna sell the barley as well, and then we're gonna start flipping those fields. We gotta take care of the bales first, the straw, but after the straw is taken care of, it's time to prep those fields. And I want to see where our money is sitting because it is going to be most likely September. We'll take a look. It's still early. We got some rain coming, but we might have to get planting going in September and October this year. I don't really want to wait until spring. We'll take a look after we see where the money's at. All right, it looks like this is the place to sell the oats. Let's see what this first load gives us. 54,000 plus 4,700 from the environmental score. We're at $134,000. Let's go get the rest. There's really no reason to wait with the economy the way it is here in Minnesota. So I figured we might as well make the money now. We'll know exactly what we have in our bank accounts because I want a larger spreader. We also have to think about something for a sprayer or a way to treat weeds. Since we're not going to be plowing this time around, we will start getting weeds to show up. Now I want to turn all of these roads into the gravel roads. You can see we started adding it here. I might look into adding more textures if I can figure out how to do that. I think there might be mods that do that now, so we don't have to change the map, but we do have our sales location there. But this is still a little bit too tight of a squeeze here, so we'll probably be extending a little bit farther. But we got to start balancing the decision between upgrading our equipment and getting all the equipment we need and buying more fields, because all of those itches are going to be there. I want, you know, a bigger spreader, a big sprayer. I want a bigger planter. Well, I want a planter, but a bigger seeder and a decent sized planter and another tractor. Really, another tractor would have been helpful. We could have put a worker on baling while we're harvesting so we could get work done a little bit quicker and move through months faster and make money faster and build out this farm faster. So those are all the things I'm kind of debating in my head, and we'll get there. Sunflowers look awesome though. And the last bit of the oats. What is this place? Oil mill. Okay, something we might want to look into long term. And another 48,000 plus 4,300 almost puts us at $200,000. Let's get home. We'll grab the barley, we'll get it sold. We have baling to do too, so we got a lot to do around here still. So many ways to get to the same point now. This was just a forest not too long ago. All right, let's get that barley. You know, just driving past this field, we're gonna own it someday. We're gonna own pretty much this whole bottom southwest corner of the map. And I really don't want to harvest that until I have multiple harvesters and multiple tractors that are gonna be able to unload it, and then possibly multiple semis. And that's gonna be a full-on auto drive setup, and that's what a lot of these big harvests are gonna end up being. And I just think that's made up my mind that we might want to stay pat on the fields we have right now and make them work until we have enough money. And if that's getting more productions going, maybe figuring out a way. I don't know if we want to tackle animals yet, but we absolutely, like in the background there, you can see that is, I believe, a cow barn, and I might be chickens as well, that I definitely want to own eventually, and that could be the home of our livestock. So there's a lot of plans that I have for this series, and I think if we do it right, we'll get there faster. And I think by upgrading equipment instead of buying land right now is the right route for us. And the barley getting sold puts us above $200,000, 209 to be exact. We do have the bales, but we probably want to bale first. I was debating buying a baler, but there is other equipment that we need prior to doing that. So what we'll do is we'll bale the fields next. At that point, we'll probably, well, we'll see when the rain gets here, but we want to put another application of lime down, but I want a better spreader for that. And for the second we don't need 2 applications of fertilizer. We can get the 1 done during planting. So I think that's the plan, a bigger spreader. And then we probably also want to look into a sprayer, or, I mean, a weeder works. We've been doing that a lot on the channel. We'll compare prices. I just feel like you can get the work done so much faster with a nice sprayer. I mean, the shed looks good in the distance there. See the truck. This looks like an established farm. Drop off the grain car here, and we'll get into the baler. And back at the baling here. Just such tidy bales. I'm wondering if we do all 3 of these fields. You know, we did the 1 already. If all of the bales are going to fit on the trailer at once, or if we'll have to do 2 trips. I'm guessing it's going to be more than 1 trip, because this is going to be a ton of bales. Well, I'm not going to be picky about picking up every little piece of straw, but we are at, oh man, 491 bales. That's insane. There's no way they're all going to fit. No freaking way. All right, there's our answer. That is all it will hold. And I'm hoping that's about half. Let's figure out where we're selling these. We are going to the animal dealer. It looks like this is the entrance here. I don't think we've sold anything here yet. Let's go ahead and unstrap them now. I think it's safe. They're just gonna fall in. Nice. And a pretty good payday there. $25,000 plus a $2,200 bonus. Almost puts us at $250,000 again. Let's go get more. I think it'll be 3 trips. Maybe 2. I think it's gonna be 3. Still think it looks like an elementary school. All right, let's cruise on up over here. Try not to get stuck. And are they gonna sell like this? I always forget what we gotta do. There we go. Now we can just unstrap them and they will start selling. Oh boy. Okay, our total is now up to $274,000 and a little bit more to get. Oh my goodness, guys. I have never seen such a thing. All right, so the game decided to reset it on its own. So we lost that income. That's hilarious. I'm not too worried about that. Okay. All right, the small spreader is sold for $9,000. Now here is our new setup, and our money does not reflect. It only cost us $3,700. We're gonna fix that. $200,000 has been removed. Now I didn't intend on this to be a John Deere playthrough, but it's slowly turning into it. We'll mix it up eventually. And we're just gonna fill this thing up with as much lime as we can here. So with what we're doing here, my goal isn't to get yield as high as possible. My goal is to make sure our environmental score stays as high as possible. And I don't believe it's realistic to lime after every time you harvest. But we're gonna do that because that's the way I've always used precision farming. We can see weeds are already growing on that field. I'm undecided still. I got, maybe an hour before I have to make a decision on that small field. a real life hour. But let's start on this small one to begin with here. And we're gonna go 1 headland, and that width is not accurate. Okay, let's go ahead. I think we had this problem before when we used this mod. Let's take a look. So the width on here is 25.9. So let's go back into here and we'll do 25.9. Is that what it was? 25.9? And that seems to be much better. It's closer. It's still not completely accurate, so we'll be wasting a little bit of product, but not a ton. Though I think it might actually be set up the way it needs to be for this. All right, let's get her done. All right, well, we had plenty of capacity. I did have to set cruise control at 14 here to get the splotchiness to go away. And I think that is a known issue, so we got to work around, but some of the areas didn't get applied correctly. I don't know how that affects the environmental score, but we're all set here. The rain did hit. That means everything else that we want to do on these fields, well, they're probably going to have to wait till next month anyways. And I can't believe it, but we are already out of storage. Luckily, this one doesn't have collision, so we're able to just drive through there. Okay, this is going to be moved soon. Yeah, let's take cover. I'll see you in September. Well, I got the planter out and all prepped. We are going to do some canola today, but we do need to get the plow going first. So I guess the fact that we don't have a direct drill, we don't have the ability to do a no-tillage planting. So that means we're never going to see weeds until we switch up. So I guess I didn't need to buy that other implement or attachment for the new spreader. But eventually I think that might change when it comes to the decisions we make on getting the bigger equipment, the upgraded planter and the new planter and the upgraded seeder. But boy, the sun rays in September, they're intense. But I think what I'm gonna do is on this side of the calendar, we're going to just plant the one field. I think I'm gonna hold off on doing the 2 smaller fields until spring. So we got lime put down. We're gonna turn it over now, and that'll get it all prepped for planting. Wow, this is the right width right here. I want everything to be this width long term. A plowed field looks so nice. I love the color of it. Just that nice, fresh soil on top. Should make for a really good seed bed here. We should be able to get this last little speck. And I think I am gonna head in to the market, and we're gonna see about getting our next upgrade. For $35,000, we are gonna sell the Great Plains solid stand 1500. I think we're gonna go with this Lemkin. Is that how you say it? Lemkin? Never used it before. We're gonna give it a shot. $165,000 uses most of our money and the delivery fee. So the seed we have hopefully is enough. We'll have to do fertilizer ourselves with the spreader, which is not an issue. We'll just have to get the product. We might have to wait a few hours before we have enough money for that. But I wanted to use something I've never used before, and I might have used this a couple times, but not long term at all. So we're gonna do canola, just seeing what else we could do. Peas would be interesting, but I don't think we wanna do that. And the capacity on this is really nice. I decided to go with, one that is not a no-till, so we can keep doing the plowing. I think that is a good way to do it with precision farming, even though the no-tillage does give you a good bonus score as well. But I like the fact that we don't have weeds. The thing I do question, and I don't remember, is if we lose a bonus for not treating the weeds since we never have an opportunity to. 1,100 liters of seed. I don't remember if that'll be enough, especially since we haven't planted canola yet, but money's a little tight since we decided to spend it all. So we're gonna wait and find out if this is enough seed. And away we go, getting some canola in the ground for the first time. And I don't remember the last time I planted canola, so this should be fun. 52 seeds per meter square. Seems low. It says it's about medium. So we'll see how this does. And just working on the ups and downs here. This width is beautiful and we have plenty of seed. The seed rate has stayed pretty consistent, so it's not going down too fast. And this ground is looking amazing. But what I don't like is it's September and there is snow in the forecast. It's gonna be a hard winter. And all done with the fall planting session. Well, I guess it's still summer, isn't it? Technically. Which, looking at the forecast, it says 53 degrees is the low, but I see snow in there. I need to take a closer look at this. Yeah, let's jump in our little office over here and take a closer look at the weather app. It does say snow. It's got to be wrong. It's got to be wrong. December, January, February definitely makes sense, but from 1400 to 1800 today and 6 in the morning tomorrow. Oh, that can't be right. A couple hours have passed now and we got some fertilizer delivered. We're gonna go out and get that field sprayed or spread because I don't know if conditions are gonna be good moving forward until spring. And away we go. This width is about the same issue we were having with the lime. So there'll be a little bit of waste here, but I think it'll be okay. Things are turning green. Seems to be a little more consistent than the lime spreading was, but there is a little bit of sketchiness going on the map there. The rates aren't dropping too fast, so I think we'll have enough product. We do have a little bit more cash just in case we don't. But this might be the last task we're able to do besides move trees around until spring. Fertilizer is definitely going to be one of our biggest expenses moving forward. I bought an extra one thinking I wasn't going to use it, and we used about half of it. So it's all good though. This field's done. We're really just ready to sit and grow until spring. And good thing we prepped it that much because I don't think we're going to be able to do anything if there's going to be snow in the forecast every month for the rest of the year. Until spring, really. It doesn't look like it's gonna snow, but it could change fast. It's been a fun year here on the SWU farm, our survival challenge. Things are coming together real nice, and this area is gonna need a lot of expanding soon. Specifically over here. I might get to some of that work this winter, but we're gonna shut the GoPro off until spring. I'm Socks Way Up. I'll catch you on the next one.